own charts. And then it follows shortly by how do we run WinStitch, because I often suggest WinStitch or Threadbare, but today I'm going to give you a demonstration of how to use WinStitch. It's quite an easy application. It looks like it's complicated, but it's not. So I just want to preface this video by saying I am not a professional. I do not make money off cross-stitch in any way, shape, or form, or WinStitch, or anything else that I talk about with cross-stitch. It's purely a hobby for me. I enjoy it, and I just want to help other stitchers find out how to make their own charts cheaply, easily, and to their own specifications. So to start off, you're going to want to find an image. So you're going to go to Google. I go to Google, and let's say I wanted to make an image of an artwork that I really like called, for instance, Waterhouse. I forget the name of it, but it's got roses in it, something like that. So I'll look, oh, this is all comes up. So I go to Images, I click Images, left click them, and then if you notice in the bottom here, there is pixels. It shows how big the image is. And that's very important because when you're converting a cross-stitch chart, you want as much pixels as you can to make it look good. I'm not phrasing that properly, but basically the higher resolution your image is, the better your conversion will be. You can think of every single pixel here as a stitch count. So for instance, this one, and if I were to do it the exact same as this artwork, it would be, what was it, 1951 by 3,000 stitches. Now of course we do not want artwork that big. We want it smaller so it's manageable so we can finish it in our own lifetime. But even still, the higher the resolution, the better. One of the reasons I turned to doing my own cross-stitch charts is because I was buying quite a few from a company and they just weren't what I wanted. I got them resized, I got them extra colors, I did this, that, the other. I paid a lot of money, but the initial resolution, it looked like wasn't very good. The chart was never what I wanted it to be, so I thought, I bet you I could do this myself. So that's when I started. So we're going to go ahead and go with this one. It just happens to be the first one. It's a good one. This is, of course, is a public domain artwork. And I'm going to right-click this. Now, if I was not happy with this and I wanted other ones, I would right-click like I did, and then I could look for, search Google for image. And it will pop up all instances of this particular image that it can find. So let's say this page here comes up. I say I want large, and then all these ones come up that I could right-click and copy from. Now the one we picked looks like the best one, but you could do this for any artwork that's on the internet, any picture that's on the internet, anything. You can right-click it and Google will search for it. So I'm just going to go back to this one. I quite like this one. It's got really high resolution, 1951 by 3000. My computer's just thinking about it. There we go. Now I'm going to right-click, save image as, and then I'm going to keep it on my desktop, right there. So there. And then I'm going to close this off. And then this is my screen here. So now I'm going to open WinStitch 2018. Takes a few seconds to load. I'm quite happy with this program. The customer support is very good. It wasn't very expensive. So now I'm going to, what I usually do is there's a lot of different things you could do on this program, a lot. I just do the very basic because so far every single thing I've charted with this company has been perfect. It's stitched up exactly like the artwork. So I usually do convert image, as you see here. I usually do advanced image import. You can do image import wizard, which will give you other specifications you can do, but I prefer just advanced image import. It's just easiest. It's not quite as as fine tuning. Image import wizard is you can get sizes differently. I'll show you in a second here, but with advanced image import it's pretty good. So I hit OK, and then all my stuff will come up that I want. I want desktop, and you see I've saved this before, but I'll click this one here, so the rows, and if you mouse over it, it'll show you the dimensions, 1951 by 3000. Yep, that's the size you wanted. I'm not sure what this other one is. I can look at it. Oh, that's the small one. That's 8585 by 900. So I could use that one because my finished image is going to be less than 900, but that's okay. I'll use the big one because the higher resolution, the better. And I'm going to, so it's doing this. Then I get this screen. Now I did not want it to be 999. This program, most programs, including Dreamweaver, Pattern Maker, PC Stitch, all of them go to 999, which is really weird because why wouldn't it just be 1000? But anyways, it goes to 999. It has the option to go bigger, but when I actually go to chart it, it will not be bigger than 999. WinStitch, as far as I know, is the only program that goes bigger. The program that Gecko Rouge uses goes bigger, but I don't know what program they use. The program that Heaven and Earth Design uses and many other ones use only go to 999, which is why you get that weird size, not even 1000. But I don't want this that big. I'm going to go down to maybe 850, which is still huge, but I'll just make 850 because why not? I ignore this. This just is what the computer thinks it's in, so it gives me a size. I just don't worry about that. I don't worry about a border. Now I can choose max colors. Now again, this program, as most programs, go up to about 250. There's very few programs that go over 250, but they all go, that's pretty much max. I find most programs are good between, most artwork is between 150 and 200 colors, makes it the best. So 150 would probably, I'll do, for this one, because it's got many beautiful colors, I'll do 150. And then I go down here and I pick the threads I want. You have a choice between DMC threads, just the basic, or you can do the ones with the 1 to 35. It's your choice. And then they have all these other brands you can pick, like Cosmo, which is an amazing thread. They have, I don't know, they've got tons of different threads you can choose, as you see here, on and on and on. But again, I just do the simple, I just scratch the surface of this program. I don't really do that. So DMC, and then I just hit OK. And then it's going to do its thing. I don't know why the window did that. So anyway, so here is what it will look like. And this is, if you go down here, it shows you, maybe I'll make this a bit smaller. Oops. Oh, wow. Okay, hold on. We've got, my window is weird here. There. I don't know what's going on there. But anyways, so this is what the mock-up of what it'll look like. And from my experience, I've found it looks almost exactly like that. It looks amazing. It looks very good. And it'll stitch up exactly like that. And here are all our colors. So there's a lot of things you can do. For instance, I like my palette to be in order. So I'll go up here to palette. I will reorder the palette. I'll click up here. That reorders it. And then I hit OK. And then my palette will be in order of numbers, as you can see here in descending orders. Now let's say I wanted to close in, because I notice on her face is some little spots I don't really like. So if I wanted to fix those, I go into here. I can make her a little bit bigger. Maybe I don't need to make her that big. I can make her that big. And then I'll pick, I'm just doing this as a demonstration. Of course, if I were to do it in real, I would take a lot more time. But let's say I wanted to get rid of those little spotties on her face. I would click this color here. Let's say that looks kind of close. Let's pretend. And then I just kind of find the dot and I click it. Oh, that was obviously the wrong color, so I can undo. And then I hit OK. And then I just kind of find the dot and I click it up. That was obviously the wrong color, so I can undo. And then I just kind of find the dot and I click it up. That was obviously the wrong color, so I can undo. And then I just kind of find the dot and I click it up. That was obviously the wrong color, so I can undo. And then I just kind of find the dot and I click it up. That was obviously the wrong color, so I can undo. And then I just kind of find the dot and I click it up. That was obviously the wrong color, so I can undo. And then I just kind of find the dot and I click it up. That was obviously the wrong color, so I can undo. And then I just kind of find the dot and I click it up. That was obviously the wrong color, so I can undo. And then I just kind of find the dot and I click it up. That was obviously the wrong color, so I can undo. And then I just kind of find the dot and I click it up. That was obviously the wrong color, so I can u let's see, is it undo somewhere here? Undo. That'll get rid of that. But you get the point, is that I pick the color I want and then superimpose it into that. So let's see, I wanted this, I don't know. Again, if I were to do this, spend some time doing this for myself, I would take some time to change all the little colors in there so her face wasn't so spotty. Or while I was stitching, I just change it as I stitch, which is what I do most frequently. I just stitch it. I just change it as I stitch it. Now, I realize on the screen it looks a little spotty in areas like this. In real life, the colors will not be that bad. This is a computer screen. It's not quite as real life, if that makes sense. So let's say I took, but those spots are bothering me. Let's say I'll take this color here and try that. There we go, that got rid of spots. But again, I could make it much bigger like this, and then I could really get in there and figure out what colors those are. So that's how you can change your pattern a little bit better to how you like it. And then finally, I just wanted to show, let's say you have some symbols that you don't like. There's a symbol, let's say some symbols are too close together, or you don't like how they are. You can zoom right in, and I can change all these to symbols up here. You have the options, all these different options is how you can view it. Here's the symbols right there. Oh, that's really hard to read. So I'll zoom in more and more and more. And I'll just have a look around and see, are there any symbols that are really close together, like uppy, downy arrows, or I don't know, triangles facing up and down next to each other. I don't see any that are bad, but let's pretend there is one that I didn't like. Let's say I wanted to change this, I don't know, this fish right here. I don't like this fish symbol for whatever reason. I click the fish down here, and then it gives you all the symbols that they offer you. They have well over 255 symbols, and then I think there's a way you can import. There's like well over 1,000 wingdings. You can import more. I have never needed to, because I've never found any chart ever that needs more than 200 colors at most, and rarely will I take any chart that takes 200 colors. They usually don't need much more than 150, maybe 170. But anyways, let's say I didn't like the fish and I wanted to change to something else. The pink ones are all the ones the program has already used. I will change it to, I don't know, maybe this dotty or this downy arrow. I'll flip to that. I click that, hit OK. And now that color will all be now the downy arrow. So I've changed it. It's very simple. So you can do that to any symbol in this. There's no reason to have two symbols that look similar next to each other. And that's about all about designing your chart. So we'll look at the mock-up again. I go down here to the zoom, 0%. And then now it's all symbols, so I'm going to change it back to blocks. You have the option to print it out as symbols with colored symbols, or this one here is color blocks with the symbol on top. There's many different ways you can do, and there's lots. They have diamond painting now. They have, it's just, the range is amazing for this program. I have scratched the surface because I find it works just fine for me and my charts that I want to stitch, but there's no end to what you can do. I think you can also knit with it, do knitting programs. It's incredible. So anyway, this is my chart. Let's say I'm happy with it now. This is the size I want it. This is everything. I'm going to save it. I won't bother to save this because I already have. I'll save it somewhere. WinStitch lets you save it into its own program. Then I'll hit Import Export, Export PDF. There you go. And then you can just play around yourself with the export. Usually I just leave everything. I like 60 symbols. You can just play around as you see it. You can do a preview. You can, well, that's the preview. I usually do just blocks, and that's the mock-up. It shows a mock-up after the cover page. The cover page, you're going to want to set the color or the artwork that you use. You'll find your artwork and put it there. And the key, you can kind of play around. You can add columns, you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. I mean, it's just, for some reason when I click thumbnail view, my computer crashes, so I never use thumbnail view. I don't even know what that is. Or color choice, I don't use that either. I don't use any of these. I just use these guys here, and then I hit OK, and it'll save it. And then at that point I can print it out. It'll save it to a PDF. I can print it out, or I can save it to PDF Expert, and that's where I can mark off as I go. And there we go. WinStitch is very easy. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is new for me, so I hope I made sense. If you have any questions, you're welcome to list them below or message me in Facebook Unlimited, CrossStitch Unlimited on Facebook, I mean, or you can make a post in CrossStitch Unlimited, whatever works for you. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.